Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Intuitive Angling. Really appreciate you guys checking out the video today. What we're going to talk about today is ASMR, if you guys aren't familiar with that, and how bass fishing is the best source of that. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with what that is, it's the autonomous sensory meridian response. This is it's been like a super big deal the last couple of years. It's basically a lot of YouTube videos out there are like listening to a crackling fire or listening to a thunderstorm or listening to a rain. And basically what ASMR is, it stimulates part of our brain that relaxes us really deeply. It's something that there's sights and sounds that come with certain things that almost create a tingling effect, just a super relaxing effect, puts you into almost a meditative state. And what I want to do today is talk a little bit about how bass fishing is the best source for that. I mean, you see these, videos on YouTube where these, like I said, they're just playing a crackling fire in the background with it snowing, something like that. I haven't seen anything where bass fishing can compare to it. One of the things that I talk about here a lot, if you guys have watched the videos, is, I like quiet and peace and tranquility and the nature aspect of bass fishing. If you guys know me, you guys have heard me rail against development, any type of development on the lake, any type of noise on the lake, too many boats, all that type of stuff. Because what that does, that takes away from that experience. I think one of the things in bass fishing that is overlooked, and to me it's the most important part of fishing, is what we're talking about ASMR. It's basically one of the most therapeutic things that you can do in life if it's done in the right environment. And that's why I always stress for a lot of people out there is like when you're fishing and when you're bass fishing, you got to take time to experience more than just catching bass. Because a lot of times if you're out there focused on just fishing and catching fish, you're missing everything out there that's actually even more important than the fishing part of it. We're talking about things like, hearing the wind in the trees, hearing the water lap up against the bank. I'm hearing the loon cry out on the water, or seeing eagles or ospreys, flying above you, seeing birds nesting, seeing wildlife activity up on the water. The list just goes on and on. Sunsets, sunrises, severe weather. I mean, there's so many things, there's so many sights and sounds that come with bass fishing in a natural environment. Most people never get to experience that. And that's why I love fishing on places like Lake Mead and Lake Powell. Those are my favorite places to fish because there's no people there. There's no signs of civilization. There's no building. There's no noises for the most part. It allows you to tap in to that therapeutic quality that everybody needs to experience. And, if you don't believe what I'm talking about here, why do you think that there's parks in cities? And why do you think that in any city across the country, including New York City, that parks are one of the most popular places to go? Because even though a park is a controlled environment, it still offers some type of a connection to nature that people don't get when they spend all their time in air-conditioned or heated buildings, walking on concrete, driving in cars. We need that. Human beings need that. It's only been the past couple hundred years that we started moving inside and became weak and civilized. Before that, we spent all of our time, the only light we had was the fires that we built. I mean, we were under the stars. We were living outside all the time. It's a primal part of our existence. That's one of the reasons that I'm so much against development, and that's why I'm such a big environmentalist, is because I recognize the fact that if you take all the crap out of life, it gets back to a lot of that therapeutic stuff that only comes from a pure, pristine, natural environment. And that's why when we talk about the ASMR type stuff, when you're relating it to bass fishing, take advantage of that, man. Next time you're out fishing, just open your awareness a little bit to it. I mean, you'd be amazed about how much stuff that you are oblivious to right now. Just for example, think about this. The next time that you're working down a shoreline, just pay attention to how much that you actually miss. There is so much going on the shoreline, on the water's edge, up on the bank, overhead, anywhere you're at. There's so much going on that you're oblivious to because you're so focused on that line in the water. So I'm not saying that that's not important if you want to catch fish, but what I'm saying is that there's more in life than fishing, man. There's more in life than bass fishing. And you don't want to become so tunnel visioned and so narrow minded that you miss out on everything else. Because if you do that, you're just robbing yourself of part of the experience that we have being in this physical plane on Earth. So anyway, just wanted to throw that video out there. You know, when it comes to ASMR, there's nothing better than bass fishing in a pure environment. I'd highly encourage it, and try to seek out those places on the lake that you don't have any people or buildings, and just see how good it makes you feel. So quick video, guys. Hope you guys are doing good. Talk later.